up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. If you are new to the channel, thanks for checking us out, and check out my other videos. Subscribe if it's something that interests you. Turn on notifications so you'll know when we post new videos. And also my Twitter handle is in the links in the description, so you can follow me on there. I'm always posting when I make new videos, so you can be updated on there as well. Despite all the constant drama with the DC Cinematic Universe, I am still looking forward to future movies, and the next one we'll be getting, of course, is the Aquaman solo movie starring Jason Mamoa as Arthur Curry, aka Aquaman, and Amber Heard as Mira. And so we have a first/new look at Jason Mamoa as Aquaman in his solo movie. And you've probably seen it on Twitter. It's this one here. He's shirtless, has his jeans on, looks similar to the way that we saw him in Justice League, and except he also has these bracelets things on his arms, kind of reminded me of Wonder Woman's, and so I think that's new. I don't think I've seen an image of him with those on. I've seen him, of course, with like different types of armor things on his arms and stuff, but I don't think I've seen those yet. And I believe this is on a Russian submarine, this image. And there's also a picture of Atlantis. This was shown at San Diego Comic-Con this year, where they did show some Aquaman footage, but that was not released publicly. James Wan said that he wasn't ready to release that footage because it just wasn't, wasn't good enough yet to release to the public, and it was directly for San Diego Comic-Con. And so, of course, by now I'm sure they've done a lot more work on the film, and they've been done shooting for quite some time now. So they're in post-production, but since it doesn't come out until next December, there's obviously still a lot of work to be done. And I've said a couple times before that I'm sure this movie is posing, or did pose, a lot of new challenges for the crew, for the cast, the director, the visual effects team, everyone involved, because it's an underwater, well, not completely underwater, but a movie that takes place a lot of the time underwater, including talking, dialogue. Everything needs to look natural, needs to look like they actually live under the water, and of course needs to be believable. And water, of course, they're not actually shooting all this dialogue and stuff under the water, but the CG and everything, there's so many things they have to take into account, and a lot of things to consider. And so I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be very different from any other comic book movie, Marvel, DC, any franchise that we've had. And the way Jason Mamoa and others have described it is like a Star Wars type of movie under the water. And so it's really exciting to think about that. And I'm sure they've had to experiment and play around with different techniques for the underwater scenes, because, well, let's say, okay, they've already tried a couple different things for the stuff that we've had with Aquaman. In BVS and Batman v Superman, his cameo, he was actually under the water, and people complained that you could tell too much that he was holding his breath, and it shouldn't really look like that because he's supposed to be able to breathe underwater. But it's hard to actually be underwater and not look like you're holding your breath. And so with Justice League, they did the CGI where he's actually doing the movements and stuff for the most part, but he's not actually underwater. And I personally preferred the way that looked in Justice League. I thought it looked better, like the color and everything, the underwater environment looked better, and I liked that it didn't look like he was holding his breath, which is the way it should look. So I preferred the way that looked over the way he looked underwater in Justice League. She's violent. So we'll see. Of course, it's a different director and, you know, people working on Aquaman, so we'll see how it ends up looking. But I'm sure that, you know, since they have a lot of time to work on the movie, and so hopefully they will, you know, take advantage of all that time. And I'm confident in that it will, you know, look believable. And, you know, underwater is like a whole different world, and so I'm interested to see them in that kind of environment and see more of Jason Mamoa, Aquaman, in that environment, because we only got a little glimpse of it in Justice League. And of course, my past couple videos have been talking about stuff that was cut from Justice League, and that includes Aquaman scenes and him going to talk to Volko and stuff, William Dafoe's character. So we would have seen some underwater dialogue, it sounds like, but the only underwater dialogue we got in Justice League with Aquaman was when Mera, spoiler alert, was when after Aquaman fought Steppenwolf, and Mera was there, and she created this bubble type thing for them to be able to speak. And so it was cool because we got to see her use her power, but at the same time it was like I wanted to see at least some kind of underwater dialogue with Aquaman to get an idea of how it's going to be somewhat in his movie. Of course, like I said, you know, probably they're going to do it the way that James Wan, that director, wants things to look, but yeah, I just wanted to get some idea of how it would look for him or for the Atlanteans to be talking underwater. And we didn't really get that because they were in this bubble, which I guess, since, you know, the way that was kind of explained was that this was pretty much, I mean, if you've seen the movie, it looked like it was Mera and Arthur's pretty much like their first encounter. And so no, she knows that he's half human, and I guess the way that was explained was that she created that bubble because she wasn't completely sure or aware of all of his ability underwater, if that he could, you know, speak underwater or what. So I don't know, I'm looking forward to how it's actually going to be in his movie, because James Wan did say soon after the movie came out that there wasn't going to be those kind of underwater bubbles in Aquaman for them to speak and stuff. So obviously, I mean, I wasn't expecting them to just be creating all these bubbles every time they want to talk underwater, but, you know, he did say that. So yeah, looking forward to a teaser trailer. I don't know when to expect one. Hopefully sometime, you know, early in the year, maybe, I don't know, March, somewhere around there. Yeah, that'd be nice to get a teaser trailer at least sometime early in the year for the footage that they do have already, and we'll know more about all that. So yeah, look forward to more stuff coming out about Aquaman. Are you looking forward to this movie, or are you kind of just checked out with DC movies because of the studio seeming to not be learning their lessons with these movies? Let me know in the comments. Check out the links in the description. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, all that good stuff. Thanks to all my viewers, subscribers, patrons, and we'll see you next time, guys.